Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something that feels really small, but it can actually govern your entire day.
It's true.
We've been combing through the research on what's called cognitive ergonomics, and it's all about why a single dirty dish or, an unopened envelope can completely ruin your focus.
It sounds a little dramatic, doesn't it? But the sources we looked at have a name for this. They call it the cloud.
The cloud, okay.
Yeah, it's that mental fog that descends when all these minor neglected tasks start to condense. And the goal today, it's really not about giving you cleaning tips. It's about looking at micro-maintenance as a tool to preserve your actual executive function.
Because this is about your brain's RAM, not about, hygiene. There's a mechanism the reading highlights, the Zeigarnik Effect.
Exactly. The Zeigarnik Effect is, it's like your brain's file system. When you finish a task, the file closes. It's done.
Simple enough.
But when you leave something undone, that dish, an unanswered text, the brain leaves that file open. It just spins in the background, using up your working memory.
It's attention residue. I saw a stat on this that was pretty alarming. Having those open loops can functionally lower your IQ by 10 points.
10 points. Because you're multitasking subconsciously. And that's what leads to avoidance. When your RAM is full, you just stop making decisions.
You see the pile of mail and you just freeze.
You freeze, and that's where this idea of touching the brick comes in. I think this was maybe the most practical tool in the whole stack.
I agree. It addresses that weird psychological distortion where a task you've put off feels huge, physically huge.
It's a way to bypass your amygdala, your brain's threat detector. The amygdala sees a project like clean the entire kitchen, and it flags it as a threat to your energy.
But touching the brick.
It's a micro-commitment. You don't do the mail, you just open one envelope.
And that physical contact shrinks the perceived threat. Then another effect kicks in, right? The Ofsine effect.
Yes, that's the natural urge to finish what you've started. So, okay, let's apply this. The sources call it domestic triage. Where's the highest leverage?
The data really points to the kitchen sanctuary.
It does. And it turns out waking up to a messy kitchen creates an immediate cortisol spike. That's your stress hormone first thing in the morning.
So you start the day already in a deficit.
Precisely. The fix is a 5-minute nightly reset. We're not talking deep cleaning. Just load the dishwasher, wipe the counters. You're protecting your morning self from that visual noise.
The other critical zone they mentioned was the landing strip.
The first 3 feet inside your front door, it's the bottleneck.
And if you don't have a 30-second ritual there,
it becomes a clutter mountain.
Yeah.
You're panic searching for keys in the morning, which, again, spikes that cortisol.
And you can't talk clutter mountains without talking about the chair phenomenon.
The limbo of clean laundry. It just sits there until you can't tell if it's clean or dirty anymore.
We've all been there.
And this happens because we wait for, the perfect time to do it all at once. The micro-maintenance fix is just wash and fold one small load immediately. Don't let it build up.
It's interesting how there's a literal price tag on this behavior. The sources break down the math of maintenance.
Oh, this is where it gets expensive. Think about a car battery. A wire brush to clean the terminals costs, what, $5? Takes 3 minutes?
Right.
You ignore that, the battery dies. Now you're paying $250 for a tow truck and a replacement. Neglect creates these geometric cost increases.
And that cost applies to our focus, too. The digital hygiene stats were brutal. A UC Irvine study said it takes 23 minutes to fully refocus after a single interruption.
23 minutes. So if you have notifications pinging and 50 tabs open, you are never actually focused. You're just in a state of continuous partial attention.
Which brings us to the digital reset.
Right. The end-of-day ritual. Before you shut your laptop, take 5 minutes, close the tabs, file the downloads. You have to scrub that detention residue so it doesn't bleed into tomorrow.
You want to start the next day with a clean slate, not a digital hangover.
It's all about shifting from being reactive to proactive. That's where the sources suggest anchoring your morning with the rule of 3.
Yes, set just 3 priorities for the day. That's it. Before you even open your email.
It stops your inbox from hijacking your entire schedule.
Ultimately, the whole deep dive seems to suggest a shift in identity. It's not about becoming a perfectionist. It's about being the person who manages the pebbles before they become boulders.
That's the whole takeaway. It isn't about doing more chores. It's about freeing up your brain to do the work that actually matters to you.
So final thought for you to consider. What is one open loop that's currently draining your battery? An email, a phone call, that pile of mail. Could touching the brick solve it in just 2 minutes right now? Go close that loop.